Luck blessing unlocked. Oh, there it is. Oh. That's pretty good. Oh, I might have already had that equipped. Where's luck blessing? They say, like, it's available, but they don't actually say, oh, wow. This inventory setup is... This is way better. And also stolen more or less directly from Diablo 3. Not that I care too much. Like, there's such a thing as, like, imitation is the best form of flattery. Which, you know, okay. I can kind of understand people getting kind of grumpy about that. And, like, there is such a thing as, like, too much. Whoops. But at the same time, for games like this, leaning on other games that have already, like, you know, figured out the formula and just kind of following suit. Like, I really can't fault games that do that. Also, 72% loot quality. I gotta pay attention to that on some of these things. Maybe we can... I gotta double check. So that's health regen, counterattack damage. Now that we're actually getting a little bit farther in the game, I should pay more attention to, you know, if any of these have special effects. Like loot quality. Like so. So, slightly less damage, but 162% loot quality. Yeah. Time to become boring. Or maybe less boring, I don't know. But if we go nuts with it, maybe it'll work out for me. I don't know. Raid all non-rare items. Was there no, like, all? Well, that's awkward. This section's a little bit worse. The trade screen shouldn't force you to go through every single section just to get rid of these. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, this is awkward. Alright. I guess I'm going to, do this part with keyboard and mouse. Because this is way worse. Because you have to individually confirm trade for every single, type of equipment there. Okay, so I get a recovery team? Oh. Because, yeah, you have to confirm the trade with every single one of those. Maybe you're just not supposed to do it very often, but Okay, so is it under skills? At least switching is, like, incredibly seamless. So passive. Okay, here we go. Recovery team. All goal gain is up. Oh, and it doesn't cost a thing. Well, that's nice. Yeah, they don't have any skill point cost, just slot cost. I am fine with that. See, do we put concentration back on the list? Oh, you can only have 3 passives. That's fine. I don't actually need concentration that much. Alright, onwards! Inventory seems like Hero Siege. I really want to play that game someday. We've tried with online multiplayer, but it never went well. Like, it was always, like, super laggy and buggy. Which sucked. Oh, probably too late now.
You were lucky to survive the Ungor's trap, Lord Elontir. Only a fool trusts the word of a servant of chaos.
Have you been spying on me, witch hunter?
Uncovering secrets is part of my trade. I have eyes and ears in every corner of the Empire.
Yet you knew nothing about a chaos cult gathering strength right under your very nose.
I haven't time to waste on idle chatter. What do you want?
High Lord Master Teclis believes that there is a shrine to Nurgle hidden somewhere in the sewers. He wonders if you might know how to find it.
Cultists often hide their secrets in symbols etched onto their flesh. Look for elaborate tattoos on any cultists you find. Concealed in the lines may be the location of the shrine.
And if I bring you such a cultist, you'll be able to decode these tattoos?
I only need the tattoo. The cultist is of no use to me.
Oh, we're going the other direction this time. But yeah, I guess on the topic of Hero Siege, I haven't played it in years, like 4 or 5 years or something like that at this point, so it shouldn't be that big of a surprise that it didn't perform well for me. That was back fairly early on in its development, I think. I could be wrong. I really like these fireballs. They're satisfying. Burninating the everything. Burninating your fries. Oh shoot. The Nurglings got big. Nope. Nope, didn't work. At least the big Nurgling ball is, not mobile. It's hilarious looking. Wait, one of them just got flung into the pit. So, they can... Oh, man. I want to play one of these games with, like, a richer physics system. I know there's, Exanima or something like that. I think that's what it was called. There's a Diablo-style roguelike with, like a heavier physics system, but I think that was physics for melee. I don't know about physics for, I don't know about physics for, like, a spell system. And I want, like, really heavy physics for spells, where, like, your spells straight up, like, send them off cliffs, set things on fire, you know, oil slicks so everybody falls over, including you, why not? Just because. I don't think I've really seen that yet. Divinity, the reason why I was, like, super into Pyromancy and Divinity Original Sin was because it was incredible. That is some cool stained glass, by the way. Divinity Original Sin's, like, spellcasting combos were amazing. Magicka 1 and 2. You know, that's a good point, actually. Magicka had a decent spell system. Some physics. Yeah, a decent amount of physics, you're right. My main problem with Magicka is, like, I want to play it, but it's kind of miserable playing it multiplayer with the wrong people. Because I always end up playing with people that, like, oh God, we were trying to do a series on Magicka years ago, and one of the guys was, like, I'm not going to say specialize in healing, but, like, you know, he was more or less like, yeah, I'm probably going to just, like, run around healing you and stuff. And what he would do is he would mix water into all of his healing spells, which didn't need water in them. He'd do the healing beam, and it would be like healing arcane and water or something like that. So not only would it heal you, which, alright, that's kind of nice, but also make your character wet. So if you, say, wanted to use any kind of lightning, you would straight up, if you wanted to use any kind of lightning, you'd straight up just zap yourself instead. And he wouldn't stop, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So he was just, you know, there for, like, multiple hours being kind of low-key trolly. Which, like, okay, it can be kind of in good fun for a little while in Magicka. But when you haven't really played together as a group before, it's real frustrating. And suffice to say, we did not do a session 2. I think I also just decided to start landmine rushing everything and everyone, including teammates. Because when I realized that he wasn't going to be an actually good team player, I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to be either, so I'm just going to explode. Someday I'd like to play Magicka, and Helldivers, there we go. I'm just constantly afraid of playing any kind of game with, like, that heavy of a friendly fire system. Oh boy. Actually, this is fine. hanging out directly underneath Pukington, probably not the greatest of plans, but I'm fine. I think this dude in the back is healing. Could be wrong. And yeah, I am poisoned. Which would explain my character making kind of weird, like, noises. I'm not entirely sure what I just got, but that's okay. Want to know what this place's budget for candles is? Dude. There's... I mean, one, we've been going through the same room over and over and over again, more or less. But that is a goofy amount of candles. You are correct. But no, I think in Magicka there's absolutely space for like the kind of weird like backstabby stuff. I just whenever anybody asks to like play with me, hey, blow of fire superior. Please tell me I've got space for that on my list. Yep. What's the difference? Ignites enemies. Damage increases during the spell's channeling. Cool. Oh, now I get a dragon head. That's kind of campy stupid, but I'm going with it. But yeah, Magicka is part of the reason why I always get kind of leery of playing games with people I've never really played games before. Because this is one of those where I was like, hey, yeah, Magicka 2 is coming out. Maybe we could play this. And I just made like a new group of friends. And it went real bad. I think it was also one of those where we found like one of the secret weapons that was really good. And it was kind of a competition of keep away where the guy was... It really was just like one dude, but he was actively trying to get rid of the good sword. Much to everybody else's chagrin. Hello, how do you feel about burninating? So yeah, I gotta work on my energy total. This gets costly. Worth it, but costly. Can I just say how nice it's been? How many of the Warhammer games lately have been not garbage? Like, admittedly, I haven't gone back to finish, like, Gothic Armada, but I remember enjoying it fairly thoroughly before, you know, my trip and then inevitable move out and stuff. And then, you know, this is pretty good, actually. That was really loud. I don't know what that was, but that was incredibly loud. Like, most of the sound effects are tolerable, but that one was, woof. Can I turn that down? I'm gonna turn down the sound effects a smidge. They were already turned down. Wow. Alright. Let's see. I apologize. I don't know what that noise is. I don't like it. I think it's that caster guy? I could be wrong. But, you know, Warhammer Mechanicus was maybe a little bit too easy, but that was because I was save scumming like a champion. But I haven't heard of like a whole lot of Warhammer games that are straight up bad lately. Which is really nice. I don't know. Part of the reason why I was never terribly interested in the series genre, whatever you want to go with. I guess it is more of a series, even if it's practically a genre in and of itself. But, you know, one of the reasons why I was never terribly interested in Warhammer to begin with is most of the media that I consume is, you know, in video game form. It doesn't look like there's anything else this direction. There's nothing that I've need to go back for. But, you know, for the most part, most of the Warhammer games, aside from like Space Marine and a couple of the RTSs, were just all bad. And nowadays it seems like they're getting a lot better. And so it's actually kind of encouraging because it means like, hey, here's something that that actually seems kind of cool that I can now actually, you know, start, I guess, diving into. Because, yeah, previously it was like, well, I guess I could play, like, Space Hulk, but, like, I think every single Space Hulk video game has just been terrible. And that was the one that I was, like, most interested in. I think it kind of turned me off of the series. I was like, nope, now it's good. I guess, to go back to my thing on the Toho game, that's another one of those. It's like, I'm not too interested in the Toho universe, but if they make good Metroidvanias, I don't mind. Warhammer, I mean, we've got, what, Vermintide? Which is...
To the unbeliever! Tear him apart!
We've got Vermintide 1 and 2, which are both fantastic. I should take a look and load that up again. Because I really liked that game when it first came out, and I wanted to do, like, more multiplayer. But nobody else in my group did. Everybody was like, this sucks, this game is so hard, and I'm like, okay. Which, like, I guess is kind of valid. I gotta remember I should be using these, those tornadoes that I picked up. I'm a one-dimensional hack when it comes to spell choice. Give me the one that sets the most amount of enemies on fire, and there I go. Whee. Leave me alone. Unfortunately, the whirlwinds are not nearly as effective as I was hoping they would be. Oh, I probably shouldn't kill this guy yet. I mean, he might end up just dying by proximity. I guess it doesn't really matter that much if I kill him or not. Okay. So it doesn't automatically bring us out of the,
The witch hunter had better be right about this tattoo.
Okay, so, yeah, it's leave. So it's literally that one mission that just, like, yoinks me out of the level, and that's about it. Is chat really dead right now, or you just bugged? Nah, it's dead. Unfortunately, Diablo-likes in general have always kind of performed poorly on my channel. And then this game's in beta, so most people don't even know about it. And then I started early and some other things. I guess I didn't start that early. But it's just dead. Might wake up when I play Space Engineers. Might not. I don't know. But I figure since I goofed with the embargo on this game, I should probably cover the entirety of the beta at least as kind of an apology-ish. I mean, I didn't goof that much. And also, I don't know. I've never really understood too much on embargoes for games. I guess it makes sense for kind of limiting the coverage down and stuff. But maybe part of it is, like, most of the embargoes I've ever had to deal with, have largely been, like, that really punishing Atlas one. Did I get in trouble with the studio? Nope. They were very nice and very understanding and more or less just asked me to make my video private. And, like, I will always obey, I will always try and obey an embargo, unless I somehow miss it. I actually get quite paranoid with embargoes. If I see the word embargo, I straight up just don't cover the game until I see somebody else streaming or putting up a YouTube video on it. Because I never want to break the embargo, but in this case I straight up just, like, didn't see it at all in the email, because I think it wasn't even like... Oh. That's Shell's phone. 1 second. Okay. I don't think that actually got into the recording. I don't think it... I got pretty, I'm gonna say insensitive microphones, but they're just close range, which I really like. Because it means you can't hear the planes going on overhead. Though the planes haven't been so bad lately. Okay. Yeah, so you know all those pieces of equipment with the plus item quality? They really make a difference here. Yeah, you didn't hear any phone ringing. Yeah, it's more just like, I heard like a loud brrrr in the background. I'm like, ah, shit, should I like be worried about that? Because you usually don't hear like a loud brrrr in a game unless there's something important going on. You know, like, oh shit, these games need Left 4 Dead mechanics. Where you just like every once in a while get like a bonus wave of enemies that just comes barreling at you out of nowhere. Oh, that would be cool. But, man, now I really want that. But no, it was just the suddenly something was different and I couldn't immediately put my finger on it. Okay, the gods have given your character a chance blessing, which gives you a loot bonus when your character remains undefeated. Well, that's easy enough. And back in here we go. I do really like the visual design for these areas. I think it really is just that treasure chest model that bugs me. Everything else looks pretty good.
I have done as you said, Witch Hunter. Here is the tattoo. Tell me what it says.
The symbol should not be difficult to decipher. Return to High Lore Master Teclis when you're ready. I shall have the location for you then.
He gave me 100 gold points. 100 gold coins. That is incredibly stingy. Alright, and now we go find Teclis in his chambers. Let's see. I guess we should probably clear up my inventory a little bit. So I only want things that increase my loot rating, ideally. So that gets me a little bit of health regen, but no. Any of these increase my loot rating? I doubt it. Oh, nope. My sword actually does. Sucks a little bit because it's going to hurt my DPS. But, probably worth it. Okay. Because, yeah, we're finding gold items now. Okay, so what does this give me? A little bit less max energy? Yeah. Now this gets me a speed bonus. We got a lot of rings there. Any of them good? Yeah. So this shoddy ring is good. Let's see. Wait. Oh, I see. We've got this ring equipped. Okay, one of these other ones gives me loot quality. This one as well. Any of these give loot quality? The answer is no. So, I guess we might as well just go for raw damage. So, can I check my stats? Status. There we go. Is there a loot quality? Aha! Loot quality is 503%. Yeah, I'm just going to keep that going. Oh, right. Because yeah, unless these give me loot quality, I don't want them. Because I'm strong enough that I can kind of get away without it. And honestly, it probably doesn't matter that much. But it'd be really fun if I could just like stack so much loot quality that I'm just swimming in like high-end gear way too early in the game. Make me happy if that's the case. Okay. Let's see, am I still having router issues? I shouldn't be. I haven't seen the stream go down yet. But oh. I overstepped. That's a cool looking shrine, whatever the heck it is.
Fortune is with us, young prince. Voss has deciphered the cultist map and discovered the location of their shrine.
The timing could not be better. I have consulted the archives, and the signs point to a propitious time for the Lord of Pestilence. Kessler and his cult will be gathering in the depths to perform their obscene rites.
Good. I will burn them to ash, and this conspiracy will be at an end.
Killing the cultists isn't enough, Elantir. There will always be weak-willed souls willing to serve the ruinous powers. If we are to break the cult's power, we must also capture Friedrich Kessler, as well as any chaos relics he possesses. Only then will Nuln be free from Nurgle's grasp.
Off we go! Let's see. I wonder how much loot quality you can get. Normally, I will admit, in games like these, it's a bad idea to have magic find on equipment. I don't think it's going to be a big deal on this game, probably, but it might lead to some kind of interesting builds. But I remember Guild Wars 2 had a fairly extensive amount of magic find that you could find like, I think different armor sets had magic find built into it, plus like gems and socket stuff and like enchantments, question mark. It's been a while, and they got rid of it because effectively everybody was just running maximum magic find, and like holding back other players that didn't feel like going for it. So like, for example, if you were a if you were a savvy player, I guess, you would have a whole bunch of magic find on because it would increase the chances of your loot. But it would also make you an inferior, player because you'd be sacrificing one of your stats for this. So it's like, well, how do you balance magic find? Well, either you make it a free stat on top of everything else, or you just get rid of it and just make it kind of like a globally useful thing. And that's what they did, to actually rather great effect. Because, yeah, I was one of those people. I was definitely slightly underpowered in favor of potentially finding better equipment. So why not? Wouldn't everybody do that? So I kind of get the feeling this game's probably going to go that direction. I just don't know if it matters too much. Maybe it matters less to me because I don't do the, like, really high-end stuff. But, like, I don't think Diablo really has much for magic find, does it? Diablo 2 did. I want to say. But I don't know about Diablo 3 at all. But maybe I just haven't been playing enough Diablo 3. I don't know about Path of Exile either. But, like, I can imagine either this game will be hard enough that, like, it will actually be kind of a divisive thing. Or, either it'll be, like, a divisive thing and you have players, like, actively checking other players for magic find. Or it'll be one of those where everybody is stacking as much magic find as possible to become ridiculous. At which point, what's even the point of other stats if that's the only one that matters? Not a big deal. Damn, that hurts. Damn, I have a lot of health. I just realized, like, this thing's doing 1,000 damage to me. I will admit, in games like these, I'm usually used to the player only having, like, much smaller amounts. Not that I'm complaining. What games would have that problem? To a lesser degree, I want to say Borderlands games, I think. The enemies always felt like bullet sponges, and I always felt like the weakest of baby men. Even as, like, I was trying to play as Brick, and half the time I was just like, I am on the cusp of death at all times. Maybe it wasn't as big of an issue on, it wasn't as much of an issue in Borderlands, like, 2 in the pre-sequel. But I've played through the entirety of 1 several times. I always found myself unsatisfied with how durable my character ended up being. I actually saw something fairly recently talking about, what is it? Borderlands 2 Reborn? As, like, a neat mod. I actually had no idea there was even, like, a considerable modding scene for Diablo. Or not Diablo. God. Borderlands, my brain. Playing this game is it is destroying me. And also looking over at chat. Everybody was describing it as Diablo Warhammer, which it is. But, like, it's pretty easy to just have that, that word just, like, wiggle into your head, and you're like, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And then, in the end, I say something completely different and look like a fool. It's life, you get used to it. Now that's a big sucker. It also seems to be incapable of fighting back. I think you're supposed to fight this thing. I think you're supposed to fight this thing, ow, in the actual circle. I guess we probably should. Oh, it straight up might not take damage. Ripes. Okay, now it's definitely... It is most definitely taking damage here. Because this is a boss creature. Or feels as such. I was healing while I was out of the circle. Makes sense? This is a bad place to be. Play Ring Around the Nurgling. I'm not sure what's hitting me, actually. Am I getting gassed by it? Well, that was a... That was... Oh, did I warp into it? I kind of did. Ow. It's such a large AoE, it's kind of hard to dodge. Okay, at this point I'm just gonna go for it. Well, I guess it wasn't. It was pretty close to death anyway. That was a legit tough fight. Everything else up until this point has just been like, la-di-da. That one's just like, hits a third of the stage. Kinda, I don't know, it's pain. It was pain. Let's see, wanders early. I think this is actually pretty close to my regular time. Like, I only started a little bit earlier than usual. I gotta get rid of that mage. The one that makes the horrible bang noise. I do not want him around. He is not pleasant. Whee! But I'm trying to move my schedule earlier every day. Tomorrow's going to be stupidly early. I think I'm starting at like 8 a.m. my time. Which might mean I go to bed at a semi-reasonable hour tonight, because, let's see, Satisfactory comes out at some point? Oh, I should probably make sure Satisfactory doesn't come out at a really inconvenient time. But I think we're going to be doing Satisfactory tomorrow. I just got to figure out when the keys get sent out, because that would be a bad thing. I wasn't informed there was a Warhammer Diablo. There's actually a couple. There's, let's see, there's Inquisitor at the very least, which is Warhammer 40k. And then there's this, obviously. There's Warhammer 40k Inquisitor. There's this, obviously. I want to say there's one or two other, like, Diablo-style Warhammer games as well. You wonder if you become a day streamer, I'll never get to watch you. You live and work an overnight schedule. Well, I don't think I'm ever going to start that early. I am not a morning person generally. The only thing that'll ever, like, affect that is if I end up playing with somebody that has a different schedule from me.